Captain America 4 just hit theaters this weekend, and we've been talking about this movie for months. And not because we're hyped for it. Nah, Captain America 4 has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Behind the scenes drama, massive delays, rewrites, reshoots, you name it. Captain America 4 went through it all. And despite the actors and the director doing their best to go ahead and pretend that everything was fine, well, everyone paying attention knew better, and Disney struggled to keep things under wraps. But guess what? It was clear that Captain America 4 was a mess from the start. Now, let's be honest, the budget was falsely reported, ballooning to insane levels. But all that aside, the real question was always going to be, how was Captain America going to perform at the box office? Well, I mean, now we have our answer, and it's not looking good for Disney. Now, of course, the Media Shills are doing everything they can to go ahead and spin this as a success. Media Shills always do. But when you actually break down the numbers, it tells a different story. You see, Captain America 4 reportedly opened to around $100 million domestically and $192 million globally. I mean, that sounds decent, right? But right until you look closer. Now, first off, that $100 million number put out by the Media Shills includes Monday's holiday bump, which is not typically how opening weekends are measured. You see, the traditional 3-day weekend total only 88 million, and the global number that also includes Monday's estimates. Now, when you strip that out, we're looking at about $180 million worldwide. That changes the narrative, doesn't it? I mean, let's be real. Captain America 4 is not performing the way that Disney hoped, and the Media Shills are desperate to go ahead and cover that, okay? Media Shills always do that. Now, here's where the real deception comes in. The Media Shills are trying to go ahead and claim that Captain America 4 is the second highest opening for a Captain America movie ever. Now, that's a blatant lie right there. You see, they're trying to go ahead and compare this to Captain America, Winter Soldier from 2014, which sure had a $95 million opening, but that was 11 years ago and in a completely different era for Disney and the MCU, okay? Now, you want to know what this should really be compared to? Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, okay? Why? Because it came out on the exact same weekend 2 years ago, and the reason that none of the Media Shills is making that comparison because it would make Disney look terrible. Now, Ant-Man 3 opened up to $120 million domestically over the same President's Day weekend and $225 million globally. That's a full $45 million more than Captain America 4. And here's the crazy part. Quantumania was considered a failure. Now, let that sink in. Now, Disney does this all the time. They'll tell you that a movie costs $2 million when in reality, once the tax documents leak, we're going to find out there was actually over like $300 million. That's exactly what happened with Quantumania. And now they expect us to go ahead and believe that Captain America 4, a movie that was plagued by delays, reshoots, rewrites, and extra production time, somehow had a lower budget. I mean, give me a break. It's nonsense. And everyone knows it. Now, back in 2014, when Winter Soldier came out, the average movie ticket cost about $8.17. That means roughly 11.6 million people showed up to see that movie, in its opening weekend. Now, in 2024, with ticket prices averaging around $15.70, Captain America only sold about 5.7 million tickets over a 3-day weekend. Now, that's less than the audience size of Winter Soldier, but sure, keep telling me that this is a big success. And this is exactly what the Media Shills don't want you to think about or even know. Media Shills keep throwing around dollar amounts without adjusting for inflation or actually looking at how many people went to see these movies. Now, if Captain America 4 had performed at the same level as Winter Soldier, then Captain America 4 would have needed to make well over $150 million opening weekend, but it didn't. Not even close. Disney is trying to go ahead and spin this into a win, but guess what? The numbers don't lie. And let's not forget about Quantumania here either. The Quantumania had the same kind of opening numbers, and it still collapsed in the following weeks. That movie topped out at $463 million worldwide, which was a financial disaster, considering its massive budget. And Captain America 4 is already starting to be starting lower than that. So what does that tell you about where this thing is headed? But here's a little another trick that they're playing. You see, some box office analysts are using that particular inflated $192 million global total instead of the more accurate $180 million number, just so they can go ahead and make this look better than it really is. But even then, it's barely ahead of Eternals, which made about $400 million total. Another bomb for Disney. Now look, I've been saying this for months. Captain America 4 was going to land in the $400-500 million range, and that's exactly where it's headed. And no, it's not going to be profitable. It's not even close, despite what certain media shills will try to tell you. Disney's own history of budget lies tells us everything we need to know. They'll try to pretend that Captain America 4 was cheap to make, just like they did with Quantumania, and then we'll eventually find out that the real number was way higher. Okay, now the possibility or the possible saving grace for Captain America 4 is that there's not a lot of competition at the box office right now. Now maybe it holds on better than Quantumania did, but I wouldn't count on it, because at the end of the day, people just aren't showing up for the MCU anymore. The audience is checked out, and Disney refuses to accept that. Okay. But yeah, this is what happens when you go ahead and burn through all your goodwill by pushing out lazy, uninspired, and agenda-driven content for years, and people are not buying what you're selling anymore. Now, the box office numbers prove that right there. Captain America 4 isn't a disaster yet, but it isn't a win. And anyone telling you otherwise is just trying to sell you a narrative that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. So, yeah, just keep an eye on how this one plays out, because it's going to tell us a lot about where Disney and the MCU are headed. And spoiler alert, it's not looking good. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button on this video, share the video for all our across social media, and go ahead and click the bell notification so that way we notify future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.